All right.
All right, so welcome to Looking for Mom's WildSea actual play Wind and Thorn. We joined the crew of the pirate vessel, the Tempest, captained by the notorious TangleFang. Andrew playing Otz-Za, the Rootless Mothryn Mesmer. Amber playing Wenny, the Ardent Shankling Alchemist. Bandy playing Flot-Sam, the Ironbound anchored Navigator. And Lucy playing Zavara, the Ketra Amberclad Tempest. At our last session, they had ended the scamp, Becque the Swift, had them meet a man with great shoes, but dressed down, took him to an older part of the Sentinel, this big, tall pillar of basalt rock, to meet his patron, who turned out to be Teche Etzriko, the mother of the sought-after pirate Teche Etzriko. And she sets out this table of this great feast. The table is this old, giant wooden table carved with TangleFang or seafaring motifs. And they're in these high-back chairs with cushioned backs, and the smell of the feast is all around them, and a faint spice or clove. There's a soft glow from the lights above them, and as they sit there eating, or after Inika Etzriko has just asked them to convince their captain, the pirate TangleFang, if they will take their ship into the WildSea and search and find her daughter, the infamous Teche Etzriko, whom she says has been wrongly accused of piracy. They're eating this great feast that she set out for them. And the ink that Zavara, as they held their hands together to try to save Garibaldi, the Ketra, the ink that Zavara has seeded them with really is on their fingertips and then on their wrists and lower arms until it recedes and kind of fades and disappears underneath their skin. They see it there, maybe catching it for the first time, not realizing that whole event with Garibaldi and supporting Zavara, that she's given parts of herself to them, maybe a small amount, and they obtain the whisper ink of their own. So as you're at the head of this table, Inika Etzriko is this small old woman who's just asked you to convince your captain to find her daughter. You're sitting there and you all have a moment of deja vu for some reason. Maybe you're still affected by the loss of Garibaldi and binding together, or maybe you have memories of other tables, moments of similar smell and feelings, this community really, whatever that feeling is running dominant within you, friends, family, food, other moments, good or bad, warm or cold. Each of you has this brief reminiscence. And so I'd like to go to Otz-Za, this Mothryn Mesmer, who's 19, but near the end of his life, really, unless he decides to repupate or live on in a different manner. Otz-Za, what is that memory, that moment of deja vu?
Moment of deja vu with respect to our encounter with the dying.
No, just something in your past history, a similar moment or a similar feeling. It could be anything. It could be on with TangleFang. It could be another ship. It could be when you're younger. It could be anything in your past, good, bad, warm, cold, that suddenly sitting at this table reminds you of.
Otz-Za thinks back to his childhood when he sat at a communal table with his family to celebrate a repupation, a family member, perhaps an uncle. At that time, Otz-Za, I didn't quite understand what this was all about. All I recall was my uncle passing, and then suddenly there is this child sitting at the table, and I have no idea who this is. People tell me it is my uncle reborn, but I don't see it. I just don't get it. So the whole notion of repupation is completely foreign to me. They've tried to explain it to me, but I just don't. So what, you die and you come back as someone? Is it reincarnation? Do you get to keep your memories? You don't. It was a mystery for me for the longest time. And so when I sit at this table and I look around at my friends, my crewmates, and our newfound friends and host, and the scamp of...
Yeah, he's at the end of the table feeding himself like...
He reminds me so much of my repupated uncle as a child. I'm just staring at him, just marveling at this young creature oblivious to everything and everyone around him in his own little world. And I think back and think how nice it would be to have that blissful ignorance once more.
Now, has Otz-Za never repupated? Is this his first round?
And he's not even sure if that's something he wants.
He's at a little odds with it, little uncertainty.
Yeah.
Becque's at the end of the table, shoving food in his mouth, and he looked at you and goes, Otz-Za, try to tangle fish, it's great. She's like eating. And he looks at Inika and he goes, Gams, they said I could be the cabin boy. And her one eyebrow raises up and she goes, cabin boy, the TangleFang, the pirate. He goes, yeah, I'm of age. And she kind of looks down at the table and then she looks at all of you and she goes, well, you better eat up and you better push away and go pack. You're standing at the door. If you're not standing at the door when they leave, then you're gonna have to stay. And he was like, popped out his chair and, all right, I'll be at the door. Don't leave without me. And you hear him run. And she kind of looks up at Zavara and Flot-Sam and shakes her head and says, you have promised the son of Teche Etzriko to be the cabin boy of TangleFang. I have gotten this right, correct?
It's about right.
She shakes her head, but she doesn't say he can't go. Like, he has made a decision. He's almost of age, and she sends him packing. Like, okay, off he goes to sea. Like, this is what they Etzrikos do. It's time. You can almost see that in her face. Zavara, as you're sitting there, this Becque the Swift goes running off with, food flying everywhere. You have a moment of deja vu at this table as he beats feet to go pack and meet you at the door whenever you leave to go back to the ship. What is that moment for Zavara after this relatively weighty moment with Garibaldi, Ketra of her own that is lost? What is a moment for Zavara, who's new to this place, recently out of Amber?
I think I welcome this whole experience with open arms, being that I do have some sort of memory of my sisters. So seeing him like so young and ready to just join and not know what adventure comes next, it puts a smile on my face and reminds me of my sisters and how I used to watch them, and they would just go off and do things spontaneously. So I'm just sitting there with a smile on my face.
Flot-Sam, as you're sitting there, I don't know if you're stuffing stuff in your hole or not for later, to give to your crew member. Because I expect you don't eat, as Ironbound. But Inika Etzriko, this old woman, this matriarch of the family, her eyes shift to you now and then. And she had walked behind you and almost told you of your origin of parts, really. That you used to be a ship of the Etzriko family, or they laid your keel, and maybe even her feet have stood on your deck before you are what you are now. What memory does Flot-Sam have? What bubbles up out of him? What voice or what happened as he's sitting at that table?
Flot-Sam remembers former times, happy times, where cruising on top of the WildSea and other people walking on his deck, other young people, much like our new cabin boy, eager and happy to be there. And those feelings, that psychic sweat permeating his timbers, and he's just absorbing it, feeling that energy and just the joy of cruising on top of those tops of the trees. It's just a fleeting moment that he gets in touch with that, because it's there and it's gone.
Yeah, you hear a voice, but it's not a voice inside you. It's the voice in that memory. It's not one you carry with you, your crew, but it's another voice, really, this high-pitched, girly voice that kind of giggles. I can hear you. I can hear you. And then, more giggly, you feel her little feet, running across your deck. And then it's like her face is pushed against your main mast. I can hear you. What's your name? As the ship, would you have given her your ship name? And this little voice?
This little, well, if it's at the beginning of, if it's at the launch of my original being,
Sure.
Then everybody knows the name that they gave me, but I don't know my name yet.
Maybe she tells you.
Yeah.
Maybe she's the first person who tells you your name, which remind me, what is it?
Oh, hell.
I knew I'd catch you. It caught me too, because I'm, ripping off it going, all right, remember, we're both remember here in a moment. But she tells you your name for the first time, this little giggly voice of when your keel was set and they drifted you out first in the tangle. Wenny, you're sitting there, and I'll ask you like kind of how you're, all this is happening. Oddly, despite Teche Etzriko asking you to find her daughter, like she's wrongly accused of being a pirate, and realizing you just promised Teche Etzriko's son to be a cabin boy, and the loss of Garibaldi, and you yourself, who's gone away from your family on this expected lark. What's the memory that comes seeping back into you as you're sitting there suddenly?
I think in a moment of remembrance, she calls back a time her grandfather had sat her down at his drawing table to explain to her an expedition he was supposed to be going on. He was well known in our community, and that expedition is now, unfortunately, infamous in our community, but he didn't know that at the time, and he was just so excited. She's sort of picturing him with his big smile and light gleaming in his eyes. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it, Wenny. And Wenny full-heartedly believed that he would. And I think she's picturing sort of the joy in that moment, and then sort of zooming out and remembering, I guess, the repercussions that came from that moment. And she's looking at, I think she comes out of that moment. She looks at Mrs. Etzriko, and she's like stacking the lineage in her mind: grandma, daughter, son, and she's now the granddaughter and like tasked with this important mission. And I don't know, I think she's feeling the weight in that moment.
Sure. I have a question probably for Otz-Za. Have you ever met Teche Etzriko?
Likely not. Probably heard of her. She is infamous after all. Probably sought her out even because he wanted to find someone to help him travel the WildSea, but settled for Tangle.
Maybe you just didn't cross over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're sitting at the table, eventually Inika Etzriko really pops this question to you, but then it becomes a community event. It becomes a sharing of her table. She realizes, you can maybe see in her face, that she's overstepped propriety, or at least something that she wouldn't have normally done. And she backs away a little bit because she realizes that's not her way. She has brought you here to try to help her find her daughter, or convince TangleFang to find her daughter. But then having you at her table is something different. And although she has this need, he feels a little remiss. You could see it perhaps in this old woman's face, that the need she has to find her daughter has made her act in a bit of a abrupt way that she wouldn't have normally. When you're at the table of an Etzriko, you're at the table of his Etzriko to share laughter and stories and crazy moments out in the Tangle. And so she probably goes around the table and asks all you, like, aside from Flot-Sam, because although she's interested in what Flot-Sam has become, he was there at his birth in a way. But there is small talk about how do you enter on the ship, small questions. She doesn't pry, though. She doesn't get into Otz-Za's reasons for being there. She may ask Wenny and be amazed or interested in Wenny's travel and Zavara if you tell her you're an Amberclad. But eventually the meal ends, and she gets back to the real reason why you're there, even if she's had a little bit of remiss about pushing into it. And she kind of waits. She sits back first. She waits until you're done, waits till you has your attention, and asks you, so do you think you can convince your captain TangleFang to search for my daughter? He is not the pirate that the Jays say he is. There is no possible way.
Of our crew, it would be our Ironborn friend here who has spent the most time with her. You would know likely best what her inclination might be to fulfill your request. I cannot speak for my captain.
But could you convince her, Otz-Za, Mothryn? Would she listen to you? You are an old salt, it seems.
Perhaps if your causes were aligned.
She nods and she kind of looks at Flot-Sam. And she almost says your whole name, Samuel Breach, but she comes out partially, but then she stops. And she comes out, Flot-Sam. It sounds like you have been with TangleFang for quite some time. I know the moment. You think you could convince her to hunt for my daughter?
I think when TangleFang found me, I was just disparate pieces of my former self. And TangleFang and crew picked me out of the WildSea and gave me a home. There's more to TangleFang than I think people see or know. I think TangleFang creates a family out of her crew, and I think, as my Mothra friend says, align with your needs and TangleFang's needs.
Mm.
I think we can get her to believe in what we need to find.
Inika shakes her head and says, well, remind her of that. And if worst comes to worst, tell her if she agrees to it that her debt will be paid through the Etzriko. And she reaches into her blouse or underneath, into her waistband. And after she's seemingly convinced that perhaps you have enough voice with TangleFang to bring her the news of what she wants, she puts this compass on the table and she shakes it a little bit, puts it up, and the pin revolves around it, and then settles off. And then she reaches over and she shakes it again, and it goes around and resolves. Now, the compass has no directional marking, no north, south, east, or west. It always points in one direction. And Flot-Sam, you feel this momentary pull through the compass, momentary pull, like it's a piece of something important. And before you can really ask, Inika Etzriko looks at you and says, this is a piece of the rudder of Flying Cloud. When we laid her keel, it will always point in her direction. It has always pointed in this direction, northwest, for the last 3 years. It has ever moved, never changed, never pointed east, west, south. The Jays sent hunters to the south and the southeast and the west and east, but never north. And this compass has always pointed north. This is where you will find my daughter. It is the last thing I have of her. You are my last hope. So I give it to you.
So the compass has pointed north to where the flying cloud may remain. How are you sure that your daughter is still there?
She would never leave that ship. Wherever that ship is, she is. Or there's some clue of where she may be. But flying cloud is her, and she is the flying cloud.
Start with a place that you know. Start with the known and move to the unknown.
Yes, maybe there are clues, but whatever the Jays are saying, it is not her that are taking their ships as prizes, because the cloud has never left the north. She kind of looks at all of you, and I've asked you much. Do you have questions of me? Before you return to your ship, the compass.
The compass always points true to the flying cloud, the wreck of the flying cloud, or we assume the wreck of the flying cloud.
Yeah, it was a misnomer. What I meant was back to the ship, back to your ship called the compass.
Oh.
I would say you're going to say something that your mic is off.
Perhaps if you could give us a token, something that your daughter might recognize so that she does not think of us as adversaries.
As she reaches over with a finger and she just tapped the compass. Like, that's the only token you need. She will know you by this because I, her mother, have given you.
And when we find her, what would you have us do? Bring her back to you?
She looks at the table, so you can see there's confliction there.
Who's to say that she would leave her ship?
Right. She just wants her safe. I just want her safe. I just want her safe. Here is not safe. Look at this house. It is dead. Most of the Sentinel is dead. Cornelius, Andrew, Jay, families have taken over. All the shipping is not a safe place for her. Wish her to send me a letter or information. Or where is she? It's been too long. I just wish her safe. And so that Becque would know her.
Right. Whose idea was it anyway to hire him as a cabin boy?
Oh, it wasn't mine, I tell you. He's rowdy. Really. And so are we supposed to leave him there with her if we do find her, of course? Or we take him back with us? Do you want him back?
Once a cabin boy of a captain, the captain must release the cabin boy. It would be TangleFang's authority to release him from her ship. Unless, of course, my daughter joins the crew of the Compass and TangleFang, but I highly doubt she would do that. Once a captain, always a captain. It's hard to take orders. And she kind of looks like...
Hearing that, I think I have a look around at my friends and I say, I think it might be a good idea to ask her about this proposition first and then tell her about the boy afterwards. If we tell her about the boy first, it might dissuade her. I don't know. He's a little hyper?
Exuberant is what Inika would say. Exuberant. He is an Etzriko. He is ready for the tangle. He wants to sail. We have kept him here too long. He should have been sailing when he was 8. But His mother was not here.
All pent-up energy, I see. Well,
Isn't it the same as you left the house? When you left on your journey, were you not ready?
oh, no, I think I was ready, but a little bit hesitant. It seems that he's been bound up for a lot longer, and, or waiting for longer, and he's sort of compressed.
So as you prepare to leave, do you ask any questions or talk to Inika or ask anything of her, of the Etzriko family?
I think what worries her the most is whether she's alone. If her daughter's really just with her ship or if she has her crew with her. And would she just automatically jump in to join us to make sure that her mom knows she's safe? Like, would convincing be enough? Or do we have to bargain? I think that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, you get a sense when Inika is talking to you that she expects the worst. You have the ship always, the compass of the ship that was built from the ship, always point north and never leave that direction ever, is highly abnormal. And so you get a sense, Inika Etzriko, that she expects the worst. She hopes against it, but there's no way her daughter would keep her ship in the north in that direction all the time. The compass would never always point there, no matter where she's taking it around the house, around the piers. It always changes the point to exactly that direction. Even though it doesn't have north, south, east, or west, or any kind of markings on it, it always points in this one direction. And Inika Etzriko fears that something terrible has happened.
I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
You've agreed to try to convince TangleFang. You get a sense that maybe that convincing won't be as hard as you think it will necessarily, but you've had dinner with her at her table, and that's almost being considered friend, necessarily family, but some degree of confidence. She's at this last moment. Her house is in dissolution. She's trying to find her daughter, and she's given up all pretense of subtlety.
When your daughter left for this adventure or whatever she's doing, piracy as someone might call it, did she say why or where she was going and why she would leave her child here?
So what you know of Teche Etzriko is that when her son Becque was young, very young, probably less than 5, she started to prey on a particular part of the Cornelius Andrew J enterprise, which was Leviathan hunting. She found it disrespectful. She found it, as Inika would say, it affected her soul and spirit to know that these grand Leviathans of the Tango, these huge, what other people would call monstrosities or Leviathans that she found were wondrous and beautiful about the world, were being hunted down. And Cornelius Andrew Dre would have specific ships to take rich or people willing to pay to specifically hunt for Leviathans. So what happened was, after she freed her first Leviathan, this multi-segmented beast from a reported submarine, it filled her and her crew, eventually made a decision that they couldn't continue to allow this when Cornelius Andrew J. Company and Merchant found that it was lucrative, and she couldn't abide by it. It was not trade in which she felt good for the Blossom Shoals or for the Tangle at all, and it affected her inside personally for some reason. So she started preying on those ships, specifically those ships. She would disable them, cut their prow, interrupt their Leviathan hunting. That's her piracy. Her piracy isn't taking merchant ships, legitimate merchant ships. Her piracy is hunting down Leviathan hunters, specifically Cornelius Andrew J. And so Inika tells you that her daughter Teche had to do it, even if in the beginning I told her not, that it would ruin us, that it was dangerous and it would take her away from family. It was something that she felt so strongly for that she convinced her crew, and they became pirates of that nature, hunting Leviathan. She left her son with me because it was too dangerous for him.
Very well. We'll have words with our captain. Perhaps she will listen to you, and if there is a debt to be repaid, that is not my business. She will decide yes or no.
Inika never tells you what the debt is. who just says, if at all lost, tell her debt. But she doesn't tell you, even if you ask. So before you leave, like, Becque's at the door, you hear him, are you coming? I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. I'm all packed. And you see him, like, taking him.
Before we leave, I'm going to turn to Wenny and say, Wenny, have you been given a proper title or rank yet upon the ship?
Oh, no. I was expecting like a scientist or alchemist or something like this. Yes,
How does mentor sound?
Mentor?
Yes.
I look at the boy. Him. How about this? Ronald really needs a duty. Ronald? I look down at my capucha.
Right.
And I say, I think you have somebody to look after. And he probably rolls his eyes back at me. But she looks at you and she says, I suppose I could keep an eye on him. But an official title? I'm very busy with my alchemy.
I've just thought that you are the closest of age to him, so perhaps you could have a rapport.
I think I'm older than you, but by a month or so. I think that doesn't fly.
What are you again?
Oh, I am Ardent. Yes.
Oh, in Ardent years, I'm actually 120. So.
Well, in the real world years, we are the same age. So I don't see other time. And you're like, you could be my brother. We're the same. So how about we do this? We'll talk to the captain and we'll see what she says. Maybe, you're so wise, Otz-Za. Really, 120 Mothryn years must be a lot of learning. You could really teach that boy a lot. I don't know too much. I'm just learning. I'm out on my, first outing.
Well, it seems to me that you're both part of the same society, the same race. You're together. You're not different.
I feel like everybody's ganging up on me now.
So does Ronald like immediately transfer from your shoulder to his?
No, I think he stays probably on my ankle, and he's like he's wary of this proposition. But he's really not that bad.
At some point.
I'll keep an eye on him.
Okay. So Becque's ready at the door. He's all packed up, and Inika, Etzriko, you probably just left. She's wished you all well and given you her name. You've eaten with her, and Becque is standing there. And it's the first time you probably see Becque show a bit of reluctance. He's standing at the threshold of the door, and he is all exuberant to go, but then he like quiet down, and he's just kind of staring at the floor, the edge of the door, and he's like one step away. And he's looking out at all you out in the front, outside already. And he's got his arms hold on to the straps of this big backpack. And he's just there, he has one step to change. And you can see this hesitation in him. Does anyone say anything or do anything at that moment?
Go on, Wenny. Do your mentor.
I was ready. I think I do see this. And despite my protests, I think I naturally, I step up behind him and sort of put my hand at the small of his back, and I kind of whisper in his ear, it's all right, lad. Think of what we're going for. Give your gams a big hug and tell her we'll find what we're looking for. And we're off. Come on. And then I sort of tap him and keep walking.
He looks at you and he shakes his head, and then you kind of see Becque return to Becque the Swift. He nods his head, and the light in his eye come back on, and he takes this deep breath and sighs out, right, for mama. And he turns around and he like practically jumps into his Gam's arms. And Inika Etzriko isn't really all that much taller than Becque. He has the room to grow, but she's kind of a small, rounder woman. And he just throws his arms around her, and she doesn't really hug him. She just bends over and kisses him on top of the head, and you hear her say, remember, you are an Etzriko. You are built for the Tangle. I know it. Off you go. Make us proud. And he turns around and is Becque the Swift in. He just, practically runs past you, goes, let's go. What's wasting?
Well, you heard him, guys. Let's go.
So you return to the ship. this time Becque takes you down the elevated platform that goes up and down. He doesn't play any hijinks this time. There's no swinging. There's no, like, he's focused. He's leaning over the edge, looking at the ship, you know, as it comes into view, because it's dark, it's night, but there's still, like, light on the pylons of the pier, and the compass is the only one. And he is there with you, and you come onto the compass. It's relatively quiet. There is a watch on the gangplank. And what do you all do? It's probably a few hours before midnight. Beanox, the quartermaster, is there, and he looks at all of you and kind of looks at Becque and squints a little bit, shakes his head. You can tell he says he's thinking, this isn't gonna be good. This isn't good. What's the boy doing with him? He's got a pack on, like. And he goes, the captain's in her stateroom. You have news. Beanox is this big ectus, huge quartermaster, probably 2 or 3 heads taller than Flot-Sam themselves. You say anything, or you just go to the captain's chambers?
Who wants to present this to the captain first?
I look at Flot-Sam.
Not it.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this together.
All right, so you go to the cap. Go ahead, my fault.
I propose that I maybe hold Becque aside for a time, maybe until we set sail and there's no longer a way to kick him off the ship.
You want to hide him?
Yes, well, I'm
stowaway.
not. Well, I mean, you could put it that way if you wanted to.
And you would be complicit with that.
Well, you know what? I do have to say something. When I first got on this ship, I was promised a research lab. There is a moldy shoe cabin. That's what there is.
I recall
No
that.
research lab. Yeah.
So
So lies
gonna
and
try
lies and lies. White lies are fine with this crew, apparently.
Wenny, should you... I realize I have thrust upon you a great responsibility with this boy. I will do my part, and I will clean that old shoe cabin for you and help you turn it into the laboratory that you just so desire.
Sounds like a great
and
deal.
Are you saying we should all present this together and together with Becque? Bring him to the captain.
Well, I don't
The boy just
think it
needs
would-
to mind his manners, that's all.
Precisely. And stowing him away is not...
Well, only
Just
for a
wait,
short
James.
time. It was only really for a couple of hours until we set off, and then we could just bring it. But okay, that's fine. All right. I grab Becque over, like I kind of wave him over, and
Becque
tell him to
doing
belong.
this whole time is like making a circuit of the ship. It's a really fast circuit. He probably makes 3 or 4 circuits, like going forward and aft and up on the poop deck and back down and over and back. Beanox just watches them go back and forth, shaking his head, and then he realizes you guys are having some sort of an adult discussion that doesn't really require a cabin boy. But eventually, you corral him back towards you and probably tell him he's going down to meet TangleFang. Yeah.
All right.
I'm the cabin boy.
Lips sealed. Anything that you need to be told, you will be told. There are no questions allowed. Understood? And don't ask about a stipend because the captain will not answer you. Right. So just zip it and let him do the talking. And I point to Flot-Sam.
Sure.
Right.
I'm going to have you make a roll for this to convince Becque to keep his mouth shut. Now, this is a very difficult role, very difficult. You are dealing with Becque the Swift, and so you're gonna have a cut of 2.
Oh,
Oh no!
Shoot.
Oh man!
I would like to support this role by saying to Becque,
Jeez.
now you hear this, young master. Should your energy take you to a place that starts to annoy your elders, we shall put you on the deck cleaning routine where you go from one side of the ship to the other side of the ship with a toothbrush.
My gams made me used to scrub the floors. I don't want to do that. So I'll give you 1 dice for Flot-Sam joining in. So you get an extra dice for
so like
Flot-Sam.
-1 cut, or
Oh, no, you still get a cut of 2. You just get an extra dice.
Okay.
Does anyone
cool.
else want to
Yeah.
help? Becque looks at Zavara and Otz-Za like, these 2 are crazy. Keep my mouth shut. What is this? I'm the cabin boy. Does Zavara or Otz-Za
no,
support?
I'm just gonna look at Flot-Sam And Wenny's like, you got this.
What about
I'm going to
Zavara?
wander off to my smoking cabin.
So helpful.
I don't think I do anything. I think I just want to
Okay.
sit back and watch. But the ink on my body starts to make like a scary face to kind of intimidate him, to be like, "You better listen." Like, can I
All
just sit
right.
back?
So I'll give you an extra dice. Pick an edge and a skill and add 2 dices and a cut of
Okay.
2. And we'll see what happens.
I think I will go iron for my edge. Skill. Oh, goodness. This is like probably silly. Break. I have 1. I could use study. I know break sounds funny, but I'm kind of like
You're trying to break Becke's
break his
Break
will a bit, his resolve. Sure, not his will. That's a little strong.
His-
Sorry.
his
But
exuberance.
sure,
Yeah.
his resolve,
Exuberance.
his exuberance.
Break his
Yes,
spirit.
sure.
Right.
Okay, we get 1 extra die from Flot-Sam, and then the other 2 of you guys step off. So I
No, I give you 2 extra die, so I would
Okay.
say a 2 die advantage because
And then it's 2
Zavara
die.
makes the scary face with her ink. And
Oh, okay.
right,
Awesome.
so,
That's great. Yeah.
And I threaten a toothbrush.
right, you threaten him.
Oh.
Threaten him with,
Oh no. Okay. Let's see. With a cut of 2.
Whoa!
God. That's not.
What the
Oh,
disaster! Oh no!
Oh, no.
All right, so you head down to the captain's chamber, and it's all 4 of you with Becque the Swift. And Becque the Swift says, right. Most pulled. And he's walking next to Wenny, and the captain's door is open to her stateroom. She's sitting behind her desk. She has a pistol on her desk as usual, and her feet are up on there, and she sees you all come in. She doesn't take her feet off, and she nods. Now, the 4 of you, this is a small space, and the gangway or the hallway is pretty narrow. So Becque is kind of tucked in the back. I almost envision Flot-Sam coming in, and Otz-Za, and then Zavara and Wenny, and
Otz-Za's not there. Otz-Za's busy
well,
smoking.
Oh, you. Oh,
abandoned you.
no.
So
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be just muttering. I realized too late he walked off. And
right, Flot-Sam goes, and then Zavara and Wenny. Now, Wenny, you're trying to corral Becque the Swift behind you, and he is Becque the Swift. So you enter the door, and just as Flot-Sam's about to say, "Yep," Becque just bolts around the side and stands at her desk and says, "Captain, TangleFang, I'm Becque the Swift. I'm your new captain boy." And he kind of looks over at you, and TangleFang looks at him. He's standing right here, and she reaches forward and grabs her pistol and puts it on her lap.
Oh no!
And she looks up at Flot-Sam and Zavara and Wenny, and she goes, "Why is the Etzriko child telling me he's my captain?"
I step forward quickly with my hands up. Listen, it's all Oates' fault. He agreed to it all, and then he went to smoke a pipe, and he's not even here. Can you believe that?
Oh, it's just smoking.
Ridiculous.
She reaches over and she takes her that tall walking stick she has. She hits these runners of wires that go up to the deck, and it rings
Oh,
these
no.
bells. Beanox is on the front desk, and he comes down, and you see his head poke down the stairwell. He's not all the way. "Captain!" And you hear TangleFang, "Go get outside out of the smoke shack. Tell him I need him." And so, you're probably in the cupola. You finally get the smoke. Your belly is full of whatever you ate, and Beanox comes in and he pulls across this. You hear him, and you hear the loud sound, and you hear probably him cursing in many different languages: low, sour, sapric, knock. Like Beanox speaks 5-6 different languages, and that's why he was the one who talks to the port authority. He's, despite being this huge Ectus and the quartermaster who delivers punishment whenever TangleFang thinks it's necessary, he's this gregarious, multilingual being. And you hear him cursing probably while you're in there, right before you're lighting up. And he opens the door to the cupola and throws back the fire curtain. He looks down at you and goes, "Otz-Za, Captain is yelling for you. Why is that?"
I heard. I'd be on my way.
So as this is happening, Beanox lets Otz-Za leave first and throws the fire curtain and locks it down and takes this sign that says out of order, like no one's supposed to be smoking in there anymore. And Otz-Za, you leave to go down to the captain's chamber. And before Otz-Za really gets there, the captain looks at Flot-Sam, but then her whole attention just shifts to Zavara and Wenny. And she goes, "Speak, tell me, why is this boy here? Quickly now, before I get angry."
I whispered to Wenny and I said, wasn't Flot-Sam supposed to take control of this?
Right, yes. Flot-Sam? Captain, really, it's actually very simple. Flot-Sam actually has all the information, and he'll tell you.
No. I want you to tell me. Crew member Wenny.
Well, we were invited.
Her eyes flick over to Flot-Sam, and Flot-Sam realizes, oh, taking me out of it.
Dang it. Well, we were invited to a lovely dinner by Mrs. Etzriko, and she tasked us with finding her daughter, who is lost on the WildSea. And Flot-Sam, did you have that compass?
I have the compass. The compass points true. The compass points to the flying cloud.
Right. So her daughter was flying on the flying cloud, and she's been missing for some time. And this compass points to the ship at all times in that direction, and it hasn't moved for a long while. She's concerned for her daughter. 3 years. 3 years. And
not
we
possible.
both. Why not?
She's been a pirate, preying on the Jays, east, south, west.
So you have heard of her, and you have a history with this family.
She just looks at you, and you see her eyes this time flick to the boy. Like, it's really quick. You see her finger just kind of like massage the trigger of the pistol she got.
Oh no.
It's ruthless, guys.
Yeah.
What has Madame Etzriko told you?
Well, I do know that on this voyage, if we agree to it, she said that whatever your debts are with her will be cleared. I do know that.
About this time, Otz-Za comes in. Like, at the word debts, Otz-Za comes in, and the only thing you hear, Otz-Za, as you wiggle your way up there, is you see Becque the Swift standing, almost at attention at the side. You see the captain with her feet are still up on her desk, but she had the pistol in her hand and a revolver pointing at the door at the boy. And you hear Wenny say debt. And you see the captain's face just like this look of consternation. And then she sees you, like looks right past Flot-Sam and looks at you, this old salt, and she goes, "Otz-Za, is this all correct?"
I'm sorry, Captain. I was absent for the first half of this impromptu meeting. What happens to be the problem, and how may I help?
You have promised me to find the Etzriko girl and inadvertently given me a cabin boy.
Well, and I will cast daggers at Wenny.
Whoa. I'm sitting there with my arms crossed, tapping one foot. Like, don't look at me. I didn't actually suggest that he come with us. Recall, it wasn't me.
Well, you see, Captain, I think this endeavor will benefit both you as well as Miss Etzriko. This boy, after all, is her son. And I believe I heard the mention of a debt being cleared. I don't know what manner of debt that might be, and that is none of my business. But she has promised that whatever debt that may be will be cleared upon the finding of the daughter and the reunification of this young man with his mother. I cannot think of a more noble cause than that.
Becque the Swift pipes up. "I know what the debt is." And at that moment, TangleFang, you hear the click of her thing. Click. And Becque says, "I can tell him." And she looks at him, and he goes, "Not." And then she unclicks the revolver, and she goes, "Fine then. Otz-Za, Flot-Sam, you are first command of this voyage and this endeavor. Zavara and Wenny, you are seconds in command. We will hunt down this girl. We will find where she is in the north. I accept this moment." And then she looks at the boy and goes, "Damn it, cabin boy, you see those boots over there?" He goes, "They need shining." He goes, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, Captain. Right away." And you see him around, he grabs these big boots, he looks at you and winks. He's out.
I tell Ronald to go scamper off after him. Just get after him, make sure he doesn't trip or hurt anyone around him.
Oh, and Captain TangleClaw.
TangleFang.
TangleFang. I should know the name of my captain. Second Officer Wenny has so graciously offered to mentor this young man to ensure that he stays out of trouble and he learns the way of our ship.
She looks at you, and you see this on her face, and she shakes her head, Otz-Za. And you almost get a feeling she's about to say, no, you, First Officer Otz-Za, will be his mentor. But that's not what she says.
Ooh.
What she says is, it is the captain's job to instruct the cabin boy, and now he is mine. Off with you. We will leave first light.
You're off the hook, Wenny.
That's actually great. I think he really does need a stern hand. I do think that's actually a good idea.
I agree.
I lean over to Otz-Za and I go, I'm not giving up. You promised you'd clean the boot cabin, so I'm holding you to that. And Zavara, do you know what? I think I sort of look at all of my friends here. The compass is pointing northward, we were told, and I wonder maybe we should have a look at that sort of map we put together and see if that aligns in the same direction. Maybe our paths really do cross.
Very clever. Let's do it.
What do you think?
Should we do it?
If you have a moment, after you're done cleaning the boot cabin, of course, Otz-Za.
Are we informing the captain on this?
Ooh, Flot-Sam, what do you think?
Is the captain distracted with Becque right now?
Well, Becque was scampered off to shine her boots. Like, you guys could...
I think I'm saying this as we're like walking out. Not necessarily in
Not
her
in front
presence.
of her,
I was sort of assuming we had all sort of
So I
moved on.
see Otz-Za leave, and then Wenny and Zavara come out, and it leaves Flot-Sam last. And Flot-Sam, you're standing there. You've been with the captain the longest, and you know this was that the captain had made a show of it, surely, because she is TangleFang. But you're positive that she was already going to go in that direction. And you have an inkling that it may be the whole reason why she had you crash on the pier. And as you're standing there, they're leaving perhaps the ship itself, the compass, that this feeling seeds through you, this purpose, that the captain is a little bit more wily than you expect. She's never come to the Sentinel to begin with. She has you crash it on the pier, and then all of a sudden she gives in like, some newborn captain, where she isn't. Everyone is left behind. You see Wenny and Zavara maybe babbling. The captain's not paying attention. You might hear the word nap, but it goes over her. And before you leave, do you say anything? Or you just keep that knowledge? No.
Look after the young one. Teach him the ways, Captain.
She just kind of waved you on, like, you get this look from her, like, yes. A moment of resignation, and she puts her pistol back on there, and you hear this sigh, a big sigh from her as you're leaving the captain plate. So what we're doing is a slight montage overnight, maybe, as Zavara and Wenny are going to kind of explore the map, or maybe you all do explore the map, that sort of thing. It's going to factor into travel later, perhaps a bonus later. Zavara and Wenny, you're going to pull everyone together, or are you guys going to kind of look at the map and see if it coincides yourself?
I think we would pull everyone together because I don't really think I contribute too much to the map, right? I think it was more the three of them, but I'm more curious. So I think I would try to get everyone together.
Otz-Za, are you going for a smoke regardless?
No, I was going to say if they don't need me, but I imagine they might need part of my wings to complete the map. But I was going to start actually cleaning out that boot closet for her.
Okay. Maybe you do it in the boot closet, like resign, they follow you. Wenny, you don't realize where you're going until you end up at the boot closet. Like, you're following Otz-Za, going back and forth with Zavara about the map, and then, Flot-Sam is behind you. And his light probably illuminates through the ship because it's darker down there. It's nighttime. And then you realize you're at your broom closet, or, the closet that is yours for your experiments. So I think if Wenny was the one to look at it, I would have Wenny make the main roll, edge and skill. And then whoever participates would just take an edge roll, one of your edges, and roll extra dice for her, and we'll see what it shows.
Well, I have these resources, these charts, and I've got a ton of different charts. Could I burn one of these things so that would that help at all?
You could burn one and give her a dice extra in addition to your dice. I'd let you do that, like the many folded chart or.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
And
Okay.
and Flot-Sam also just as last time, if I remember correctly, you were saying that we don't necessarily burn them all the time, right? Is it like if I got a chart?
So when you're doing a montage and you're helping someone else do something, like Wenny's going to kind of make the main roll, you roll one of your edge and that dice gets used, whatever the number is. What Otz is doing is not only is he using an edge, but he's willing to burn a resource to give her an extra dice on her roll. So Otz will make an edge roll plus give Wenny an extra die for advantage for burning a resource.
His edge roll, will that count as an extra, that number? Will that just be like an additive to my total or to,
Right.
or
It'll just be an
okay.
added to your total. Yeah. It's
Okay,
kind of
cool.
like when we had to see if the ship flew both.
Mhm.
Right. So Flot-Sam, you would, if you're going to help, you would make an edge roll. You can only get 2 dice to begin with. But if you wanted to burn a resource, you could give her that 2 dice extra. Or you could just make an edge roll and it just adds to her roll together already.
Okay. Yes. Since Otz-Za is already contributing one of his resources, I think what I'll do is I'll save mine for a future roll, and then just contribute my abilities. And plus, I have a lovely compass.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So,
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
So yes, I think I'll stare deep into the compass and try to use my instinct skills. No, actually,
one of your edges. We're good.
Iron.
Okay. Zavara, are you going to add a role to this montage, like a 4-character montage?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her tides as my edge.
Okay. And so
I'm giving tides as well as that.
Oh, awesome.
okay, Otz-Za, Flot-Sam, and Zavara, you can make your single roll. We'll see what it is. And
Conflict.
yeah, they don't count. We're just gonna add. We're just gonna add a 2, 3.
You're like,
Now-
please, no.
Winnie, you get to make the main roll, so you get to use an edge and a skill plus a 1 dice advantage.
Okay.
You could use anything else to give you an extra 2 dice advantage if you want, a resource or something else, a trait, a gear. You can't use Ronald, I don't think, or your bow. But so, what would you think you roll?
I think I'm gonna roll. My edge will be veils because I see this as sort of
Something hidden, something to be found.
something hidden, yeah, and then sort of looking for, this isn't so obvious. This is sort of maybe something beyond that. So veils for edge, skill will be study, which I have 2 marks in, so 2 dice, and then I have an advantage of 1 die from Otz-Za,
Right.
and then I'm trying to see what I do have an etched branch map chart. So I wonder, could I burn that
Sure,
in my resource?
you could burn the chart, so you would make a roll with veil, study, and 2 dice advantage for burning the chart.
Okay.
1 for your chart and 1 for Otz-Za's map.
Okay, perfect. So I think I'll do that. So let's see here.
Sam, I think you still need to roll too. I don't see your roll.
I see Lucy's roll. I see Zavara's roll, Andrew's roll.
I need to roll. Okay, so I'm clicking on edge iron.
You should just roll it flat without anything else. I'll roll it for you.
Okay, I apologize. I'll get this.
Oh
no.
Come on, GM.
DM.
The GM curse. No.
Winnie, you have a 1 and a 3 and a 4 to add to your dice. You get to roll. You luckily get to roll. You're rolling 5 dice anyways, but you're rolling veils plus study and 2 dice advantage. Let's see what you get.
You got
They're
this.
sort of putting all of these pictures and maps and lines superimposed over each other, taking a step back.
Triumph.
Triumph.
Woo! Yeah.
Great.
Now let me look at your dice. See if there's a twist.
There is, I think there's 2
yeah.
4. Well, if I use their die, there's definitely a twist.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you get a triumph with a twist.
All right.
So we'll do the twist here in a second. You guys think Yeah, so the map that overlays, Otz-Za flicks out his wings. You like use your other maps, and you see that they're all kind of connected with different areas. But the three main maps, Otz-Za's wings and Flot-Sam maps and Wenny's map, you see like they really meander north. You can almost find the Sentinel, and there's a little track maybe to the southwest of the Sentinel, but the main part of your map leads north. It meanders a little bit northeast, northwest, here and there, but it leads north. And you see it goes right by this, probably 3/4 or half the way down the map, and along the map is a big vortex called the Rose Vortex, which is this huge bramble of giant rose bushes that swirls, like a whirlpool. And it's called the Rose Vortex. It's this huge area. Your track leads right into it and then out almost the other side. So the map doesn't really end there, but it's obviously a point of importance, this giant rose vortex, which Otz-Za would know is not very traveled to. It's pretty dangerous. The only people who go there are adventurous or studies or, because it sucks ships in. There's only one entrance. There's another entrance, but that one's really difficult. But there is one entrance into the Rose Vortex, and you have to be a darn good captain and pilot and navigator just to hold to the edge as it's pulling you around and around, and then dip yourself out before the whirlpool pulls you. That's what the Rose Vortex. That's what you see for Triumph, almost as if the map is pulling you towards that Rose Vortex, this area within the Blossom Shoals. Now, what do you think the twist is? Anyone have any ideas?
It's for me, I think it would be something personal to Otz-Za. So I don't know if that would apply for a general twist. But
what is it? It's a group. It's kind of a group vote. So.
Yeah.
Something you see in the map, maybe? It could be personal to him, but something that appears to all of us on the map that has to do with him personally?
Or maybe something happens to the compass since we put this map together.
Ooh.
The compass starts to go haywire because maybe we found the vortex or something in regards to that.
Oh, I like that one too.
Oh, it starts.
Yeah, maybe it just spins or because we uncovered something that.
When we put it near somewhere on the map.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, what happened, I think, is that you lay the compass down on the map. Maybe Zavara is holding it, it's like Flot-Sam gives it to her to hold or something, or, it's there. And you put it down on the map while you're studying it, and you see the compass go right to the Rose Vortex. And Zavara, you see it, you're like, the heck? And you pick it up and you put it on a different part of the map, and the compass goes right to the Rose Vortex. And you pick up the compass and you start moving. Everyone's now watching you move this compass around. And wherever you move it, the needle points towards the Rose. If you take it off the map, then it whirls a little bit and points again to the north. But if you set it on the map, it points right towards a rose compass wherever you're going, almost as if the compass is responding to the map. Like if you would think if the flying cloud were elsewhere on the map and you stuck the compass on the map, it would point to it. And I see that as a twist. Whenever you set down that compass on a map, it points towards the flying cloud wherever it is. And it always points right at the Rose Vortex.
Oh, does this mean we have to go in there, inside the vortex? That sounds a little dangerous.
Sounds daunting to me. Yeah.
But I wonder.
Is this something we should inform the captain on?
Well,
yes, the captain needs to know.
I agree. It's where we're headed. It's where we need to be headed.
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Why not?
We are meant to go there. It is by no accident that this compass that we found, that the maps that we have amongst us point to the same location.
Huh. Do you think we have to go beneath the canopy? Beneath the tangle, is what I mean. Because this is most interesting. It might be quite dangerous, but I'm kind of looking for something, and I think you are too. And I look at Zavara when I say this.
Yes.
A community that's not in the tangle, but below.
That's correct, yes. I think Otz-Za might be onto something.
But we don't have to tell the captain those specific details, but should we mention...
Maybe like a fair warning.
Vortex. It's just somewhere kind of around that general direction. No?
Maybe we
Otz-Za,
don't need to say it now, but
Otz-Za,
the
weren't
captain
you
will need to know.
didn't you have a speech about secrecy and
I was thinking the same. What did he just
No.
say?
yeah. No.
If we tell the captain no, there is a good chance that she will try to avoid this treacherous landmark.
But because we're meant to go past it, not necessarily to it. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So
When we arrive at this point, I cannot speak for the rest of you, but I must go down.
I mean, I do believe that there's a reason we're all being pulled in that direction. And I think I'm inclined to follow. How long? I look at Flot-Sam and Otz-Za, since these two are the most sort of well-traveled among us here.
okay.
How long do you think? How long a travel before we get there? How many days preparation would I have? I'm thinking about maybe putting together some alchemical concoctions to help us on our way down.
Oh, you should have plenty of time before we get there.
Oh,
As long as your room is clean.
Right.
there's boots hanging between us. We're all talking around a pair of boots.
Flot-Sam and the Navigator, as the Navigator, and Otz-Za would too, because he's an old salt, would know that's about 7 or 10 days, depending on the temperament of the Tangle, like how to get there. And TangleFang is a fantastic pilot, captain anyways. And as a Navigator, Flot-Sam is almost positive when he looks at the map, depending on the prevailing demeanor of the Tangle and any issues along the way. It's probably a 7 to 10 day stay to get to the Rose Vortex, almost due north from the center. So there would be time.
We all know where the Rose Vortex is.
Right.
Who's to say that
So-
we don't ask someone for help on our way there? Maybe someone knows something we don't, and we
Someone
can gain
we should.
insight. No. If we dock, it's a 7 to 10 day trip. If we dock somewhere, maybe we can walk off somewhere and find some information maybe on this vortex a bit more before we jump right in. Otz-Za?
I don't know if there will be another port before we get there. I look at Flot-Sam and Otz-Za. Does that sound?
Is there one on the
normal?
map?
We may have other stops along the way. Aye. The weather may take us to some side trip. We just don't know yet.
Well, it would be good. But I maybe now seeing your point, Otz-Za, I think, yeah, maybe we keep this discreet on the ship. Keep this just between us for now.
There
and
are
then-
some other spits, but they're off the mark. They're off the
Oh.
line. They're there, and you could detour a day or so out of the mark. I'm just telling you on the map, on the path, there are a couple, maybe 2 known stable spits, but they're not in line where the map shows. They're maybe a
Off on the
day and a
side.
half sail, off the side,
Yeah.
east or west. Just so you know, if you wish to do that later.
My lips are sealed.
Just
Also,
after
we'll-
Otz-Za.
Otz-Za will look at his crewmates and say, my inclination is to make haste to this place. It pulls to me. And he'll look to Zavara and say, we found you not too far from here. But that does not necessarily mean the place you came from was where we found you. The tides of this WildSea can carry you
Mhm.
any distance, any amount of distance. But there's something about this place, something about all of these coincidences converging upon this place, finding you, the maps, the boy, and there is an instinct within me, a burning. I have to see what is down there. And I think it has something to do with you.
I can definitely, maybe I'm a bit confused about it all. You know, like I would like to trust you and your intuition, but who's to say this is correct and maybe this is where I'm meant to be or where I came from? What if it's more than that? Do I trust you? Do I
don't know if I can even trust myself, to be honest, so I cannot ask you to trust me. I just know I must go down.
I mean, I have nothing else to go on. So, I mean, I will follow. I think I have only you guys left, and I need to know who I am and where I come from. So this is my destiny now. I'm with you, Otz-Za.
We'll just nod. Say, I failed you once today already, and I will not fail you again.
I trust you.
Flot-Sam, you've been on these seas longer than any of us. You've seen much. Have you ever encountered this rose vortex before in your travels?
Aye, this is where the Samuel breach broke up. It dragged me down. It spit me out. Aye, I'm familiar with the rose
Vortex.
Thank you.
How uncanny. That's remarkable. Are you a little... I mean, how do you feel about revisiting this place, then?
It sends shivers down me timbers, but I think this is a place all of us, our fates, are being drawn here.
If we go here, what do we tell the boy?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I want to take him down.
I think he's best with the captain.
You should stay on board.
All right. Guess we'll just keep this in our back pocket for now. Agreed?
Agreed.
I cannot tell a lie. If the captain asks, I must reveal.
Well, Flot-Sam, we'll just keep you in the back
Oh,
for a little bit.
Actually, I have lots of questions for you. I do have a list that I really was meaning to get to ask Otz-Za, but I think this might take some precedence. So some top priority. Can you tell me the properties of all those of the plant-like sort of things we might encounter there? Because if I am to make an alchemical sort of set for potential dangers, I would like to know what those potentials are. And you seem to be the only one of us who has some first-hand account of that.
As Wenny is peppering Blossom with questions, it's just like never ending.
She's got her notebook out.
I do. I took the one that had all the lists of questions for Otz-Za and I threw it over my shoulder. And I picked up a fresh new one.
Blossom at the top. She's just peppering Flot-Sam with questions, and we kind of fade out to black as you all are in the as Oates is cleaning up. I set an alarm. So what we'll do is we'll take about a 5-minute break and we'll come back. Any questions for me? I had a lot of fun, but the whisper that the whole group got was when you gave them part of your ink. So they got the whisper called Ink of My Own.
They got it. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, they got it, right? You gave them part of yourself. You didn't get a whisper then. All three of them got a whisper because they joined you.
I got Taboo of Light. I think that's what you gave me.
Right. All right, so we'll start. It's night. I don't know how well you sleep. I don't know if it's restful. Otz-Za probably eventually gets to smoke after he's done cleaning. Maybe it's the last thing he does before bed. But it's deep dark. The ship, Beanox, has prepared to get underway quietly, though. Quietly. Beanox gets it ready to get underway quietly. All but one line is thrown off the pylons because the captain, TangleFang, has slowly told the crew, come back on board, be ready. We're going to go just before first light. And so there's this amount of quiet activity as the ship gets ready to get underway in a manner that it doesn't want to alert the port authorities, which is, you guys get it, but and so it's late though. It's late, it's dark, and you all are resting. Zavara, maybe you've fallen asleep or you drifted off somewhere, or the laughter of your sisters are in your dreams. And then you hear a whisper in your ear. Zavara, get up.
Who is it?
It's me, Becque, the Swift.
What are you doing up?
Well, they're going to put Garibaldi to the wind. I thought maybe you want to come, and seize one of yours.
Yeah, sure. Just be quiet and go upstairs.
Okay. Do you think any of the other ones will want to come too?
I think to myself that maybe Otz-Za would, but because we did kind of experience that kind of together a little bit deeper than maybe,
You all
I'll
kind
wake
of
up
put your
Otz-Za.
hands together.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll go get them all up. Like,
No, not all of it.
scampers over, goes over to Wenny, and he licks her finger, gives her a big wet willy, right in the ear. Wenny, wake up, Wenny.
I think I'm not
Hey.
sleeping in my bed. I'm at the new research at a table with my concoctions, and I think I've fallen asleep at the table. So he wakes me up amidst all of
Wet.
my, yeah,
Yeah, it's me, Becque, the Swift. We're going to go see Garibaldi off. I gotta go get the others. Get ready. Meet Zavara at the top, but be quiet. Okay, bye.
Meet at the top.
I don't know how Flot-Sam sleeps. Or maybe his light dims, or he doesn't sleep at all. But maybe he's drifted off somewhere, or maybe he doesn't sleep at all. But it's kind of like that, ocean whale kind of sleep, where you're not really there, but your brain is still. And what you feel is Becque's arms up to the elbow into your porthole, rummaging around. Oh, you're awake. I was just seeing if I can find anything good in here. Hey, we're gonna go see Garibaldi off. They're gonna set his ashes to the wind. And Zavara thought maybe you might want to come.
What are you doing in there? And he's swatting his little hands away. Back off.
He comes out with something. What is it? Nothing. I gotta go get Otz-Za.
Pamphlets.
Hopefully just a pamphlet.
Oh, but no, fingers crossed.
He finds Otz-Za. I don't know where Otz-Za sleeps, but his demeanor is far different. He just kind of like taps Otz-Za, like, Otz-Za, First Officer Otz-Za, wake up, Otz-Za. Oh, Mothryn, wake up.
What is it, Becque?
Oh, well, here's the thing. First Officer, we're all gonna go see Garibaldi off. They're gonna set his ashes to the wind.
Now?
Well, it's a ceremony. You have to be quiet. We have to be sneaky. I know you could be sneaky. You're a Mothryn. Hey, can you fly? Could you give me a ride? Sometimes now, but
Where's your keeper? Where's Wenny?
well, she's waiting for you too. We're all going up to see Garibaldi off.
I must have a word with her. She's not doing her job very well. Fine. I'll be up in a moment. Just give me just another moment, please.
Okay, but wait.
Yeah, Otz-Za's just trying to get like half a minute more sleep. With Becque just kind of standing there. So, fine. That's
Kind of flutter, your eyes kind of flutter slow, and you just see him like reaching out to touch the soft little hairs on the edge of the wing.
Don't you dare.
All right, sure. I was just making sure you were getting up.
I'm up. Fine. And the others are up too.
Yeah, you're the last one. I thought you might need more sleep, seeing as you're so old, or you say you are.
Whose idea was it?
It's not mine.
Fine. And I'll just follow him up onto deck.
Oh, by the way, thank you for making me a cabin boy. I think it was you. So, like you guys slink off the ship. Beanox tracks you, and Becque looks at him and nods, and Beanox nods back. And with this kind of weird ectus, he's already the cabin boy of TangleFang, so maybe he's going out on the errand. And you slink off the ship in the dark. All the lights on the pylons are out, but there's some of the crew, the night watch, are screwing around getting everything ready. And Becque takes you to the lift and quietly takes you up on the lift. Don't make a lot of noise. And then he takes you through the tunnels of the Kulat. As you're going through the Sentinel, it's quiet. It's silent, really, aside from the sound of the wind and the tangle behind you. This ever-present kind of buzz, low hum, really, of the tangle that's way out there, which the Sentinel rises out of. As you're walking through the Sentinel and get into this dark tunnel, Becque reaches back and grabs whoever hand is next to him as he's up front reading him. Who is that?
I'll say it'd be me.
Okay. So he puts his hand in yours, Zavara. It's a little bit sweaty and small, and he whispers back, maybe everyone should join hands so you don't get lost. There's a lot of side tunnels here. He yells back, hey, Flot-Sam, can you give us a little light?
And he'll unveil, not unveil, but he's got his lantern, and he'll take off all the covers on it so that it shines forward.
Okay. Zavara, he doesn't let go of your hand. He keeps holding onto it.
He's just pulling me down.
Right. You're walking through. Wenny and Otz-Za, as you're walking through the Sentinel, do you do anything specific, or does any of you do anything specific as you're following Becque the Swift?
I don't think so.
Okay. Otz-Za?
No, what Otz-Za would be doing is, like, now that he's been shaken from his slumber, he realizes that the gravity of what they're about to do, given the fact that he feels personally responsible for not being able to save this man.
Likewise.
So yeah, he's kind of lost in thought right now.
Okay. Winnie, you're following behind Zavara and
I think
not
I'm
an
at the back.
abnormally quiet at the back.
Yeah, not normally so quiet, but seeing all of my friends in front of me sort of quiet and in a contemplative sort of state. I'm also half awake right now because I basically stayed up all night and fell asleep probably minutes before I was woken up.
Okay.
I'm just a little out of it, but also kind of realizing maybe the weight of what we're about to witness right now and staying quiet and just holding Ron in my arms and
Okay. I would
walking
have you
behind
make
the
a
group.
reaction roll, and you're making a reaction roll to sense something that you haven't recognized. An edge in a skill, just a flat reaction roll. I just
Okay.
want to see what you roll. So you can pick an edge in a skill. You're the only one who gets to do this reaction roll at the end, at the back.
Okay. I will say I'll use veils again. Just
Okay.
put it out there. My senses are in veils, I think. An edge, and then the skill will be study, to study what's around.
Okay.
What is do I see and hear around me? So let's do that.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Wow.
Oh.
it's not too bad.
Getting there.
Apparently I'm still awake. Hey, that wet willy worked, baby.
So you're behind Flot-Sam, whose light is shining forward, and it's not an abnormally quiet Otz-Za. He's just with maybe a little bit more withdrawal. Maybe you see it in his wings more so than anything. Zavara's in front of you, and Becque's got her hand, firmly in his grasp, and you hear scuffling, and your attention is a little torn because it seems like you're coming to the end of the tunnel, and you can almost see the sky, which has no clouds and starlight, and you see torchlight, and you also hear this ethereal kind of singing, really. But you hear scuffling behind you, and you look back, and you see 3 or 4 figures in the dark, just silhouetted for a moment, and then they kind of fade backwards, like they're not following you. They're following you, but they're not following you further. And they fade back into what does Wenny do?
I sort of lean forward to the group and whisper, "Were there supposed to be others behind us? Were we like a larger party? Some have fallen back a ways now, but they were following us for a while. Up until this point, really."
Do we all hear her say that?
I think as you're exiting the tunnel, her voice is loud.
Okay.
She probably asked the question openly. I see someone. No, now I don't. You all look back there, but you see nothing but darkness.
Becque, did you wake anybody else up that I'm unaware of?
Just you two. Oh, look, there's scams. No, just you two. You
So-
4.
On your way here, did you see anything?
No, I would notice everything. Certainly. I'm Becque the Swift.
Becque,
Nothing is underneath.
Who is we supposed to be meeting here, aside from the friend of
We're going to-
Garibaldi?
Garibaldi's ceremony.
But who else will be there?
Garibaldi will be there, and Big Girl will be there, and I think Gams will be there, and
Oh.
Mr. Man, which is, Mr. Man, and probably any of Garibaldi's friends, and you.
Flot-Sam, can you shine the light behind us,
I was
please?
just thinking that.
Okay, why? Did you have a reason? I
There
look
was
behind
something
the
behind
I see
us.
Nothing.
Just to be sure.
He shines his light behind, and he sees nothing.
Watson, it's just a tunnel. There's nothing there.
Do we see footsteps?
No, it's not raining inside.
Hmm.
No footsteps. You don't even see You don't even see your own footsteps because you're
I was
walking
going to say
on
other than our own.
rock, right? On rock, really.
Flot-Sam, turn your light off
Okay. And he shutters the lantern.
Okay.
and just be still. Do we hear anything?
No. Quiet. You hear singing behind towards the outside, this kind of chanting, these kind of ethereal tones, maybe in a language you do not know, but you don't see any. You wait for a while in the dark, and Becque's going, "What's going on?" But nothing happens.
Okay. Flot-Sam, let there be light. Opens up his shutters again.
So you exit the tunnel, and out on a narrow spit of rock, a narrow ledge that reaches out into open air, like part of the rock of the Sentinel just had this kind of narrow ledge that leads out. there's a bier of wood, building of wood, on which the Ketra Garibaldi rests. And the singing seeps all around you. It's this kind of soft, ethereal. The words are hard to figure out. You see Sigra out there holding a torch, and his face is just a ruin in the torchlight, a ruin of sadness, and he holds this torch. And you see Teche Etzriko, oddly, and her servant, and you see a few other people, but they're not very many, maybe 2, 3, or 4, or 5. And there's a few of them who are singing, which seems to be a ceremonial song or the way they are expressing setting Garibaldi free. And Sigra walks up to you, and he looks at all of you four and looks at his feet. He's holding this torch, and he looks up and says, "Will you stand with me when we send his ash to the wind?"
Yes, of course.
Okay. Wenny?
Well, I think she was assuming that he wasn't talking to her. She felt like, she was sort of a bystander in the whole affair. She was just looking in from the outside. But absolutely, if you'd have me, sure.
Okay.
I'd done it.
So he nods his head. Good then. I have torches to light for all of you, which is pretty odd. Like they're going to use fire, but they're way high up in Sentinel, and so the likelihood that any ash is going to fall down that far to light the tangle on fire is pretty rare. And you walk out with them along this narrow kind of half bridge that leans out in space. As you're walking out, Becque leaves your side, and you see him kind of run over to his dams, Inika, Etzriko, because he's already left, but now he's back. And whenever you're in port, you gotta show your respect, and throws his arms around you, and you're kind of watching him at either side of your eye, and there's some sort of discussion happening between Becque, Inika, Etzriko, and you see her nod, and she flicks back her cloak, and she unbuckles a brace of pistols, and she leans over and buckles them around Becque, and then leans over and kisses him on the forehead. He settles the pistols, right? And she's got another belt of pistols. She had 2 pistols strapped to either side, which she is a captain of the Tangle. And so, but she came up here with pistols in her hometown, but she also buckles a set of pistols around him. It looks like her own pistols around her grandson. And then, pushes him, in a fond manner. And you could see the firelight. She watches him for a while, but then she looks up at all of you. And there's this silent communication. Some other request, some other silent wish. It seemed to say, keep him safe. And you see Becque, he's not even paying attention. He's making sure his pistol's right and, get it all up. And he sees you and he waves. And then he kind of stands back as you guys are led up to the bier of Garibaldi. So he's on this, 3 foot, 1 meter high reclaimed wood of the Tangle. And he's bone white, Ketra, eyes closed. And Sigra reaches out, pulls his torch back. He pulls up 4 more torches and he lights them and hands them to each of you and has this big sigh, and he reaches out. He just can't seem to put the torch down to Garibaldi's fire, or start his fire to set his ash free into the wind of the Tangle. What does everyone do in that?
I will step forward. I'll gently take his hand, and together light flame.
Okay. How about the rest of you? You see,
I think I will just be a step behind him. And as soon as I see him put down the torch, I'll wait a beat and then put mine down as well.
Right. So the company helped Sigra light Garibaldi's fire to return the person to the Tangle. The fire catches, and it is a very rare thing to see a fire of that size, magnitude, but high up on the Sentinel. That's how the ceremony of ash goes, how they return people. It's obviously not a Mothryn ceremony necessarily. And as you're standing there and the heat builds, it's so bright, so hot, this amount of light that you're certainly not used to because you're from deep down. You see on Garibaldi's albino skin the tracings of his ink light up in this kind of dark, scintillating kind of faster as the heat reaches him, the fire reaches him. What is Zavara thinking in that moment?
I'm just sad. I'm very sad that I couldn't help him. And I think I want to say maybe I have like a flashback in that moment of maybe the interaction that we had for, that time when we did interact with one another. And it just grounds me and puts me in this place of like, I don't know what's become of my family. Maybe the same thing has happened to them, or maybe I can try to save another one next time. And this is just a learning lesson for me. And I just bow my head down and I guess pray and give my respects to Garibaldi.
Flot-Sam is pretty bright. What's fire do to Flot-Sam being that close to such heat?
I was going to say for Flot-Sam, one of his drives is to send other spirits to a peaceful rest.
Okay.
So I would like to do my part in doing that. So
You mark a drive.
there are no circles on the drives?
Yeah, what I'll do is I will post about drives, but I think in this moment you realize that you've done that, even though you tried to help
Yes.
Zavara. That fills you with promise or idea that you fulfilled something that was deeply held, to send someone else quietly to a peaceful rest. And this moment is obviously peaceful.
Yes.
And that you were part of that with Zavara and
Yes.
probably mark that drive. That's what you feel while you're sitting there.
What I was going to say is how Flot-Sam does this is he actually takes a part of himself and puts it onto the funeral pyre. He feeds the flame.
Okay. A piece of his person.
Yeah.
Does a voice go along?
You see Flot-Sam, all of a sudden, his usual sort of low sailor talk turns into a priest that was aboard his ship at one point. And he starts to say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Thus we all go to the WildSea.
Does that priest go with that part of you? Bound to that part? And you feed that part, or does it stay with?
It's just a moment that passes
Yeah.
through.
Okay.
These personalities just come and go.
So Garibaldi is consumed by fire. There's not many people there for him, but eventually the singing slows and it tapers off, and Teche Etzriko peeks up behind Becque and puts her arm around him and kisses him on the top of the head. And then she turns around and she's gone. Stigras seems like he's going to stay there for the night, but he thanks you all for coming. Thanks you all for trying to help Garibaldi. And this was an important moment for closure for him. And even though he's a big, giant bartender, he's relatively soft. He's going to kind of sit there in lotus position throughout the night and wait till it ends, wait till sunrise, really. But he thanks you all for coming to Garibaldi's service.
I'm going to turn over to Otz-Za and ask him if he's okay. Are you all right?
Otz-Za is staring into the fire, both mesmerized by it, but there's more to it. I don't know this man. We didn't know him.
No.
And we could not save him, and almost lost you in that process. What do you think waits for us beyond death?
It's very scary, but I'd like to think happiness, maybe? Fulfillment? I'm not sure. Are you nervous about death?
No, I am not. My people, I learned when I was young, have the ability to pupate and return to life in another form. But that has never called to me. This is a life as fleeting as it may be. It is mine. It is precious as all life is.
Agreed.
I don't know what it would mean to come back and do it again in an endless cycle. It just seems pointless.
Are you worried that you might not be who you think you want to be? That you're going to choose a different path that may not suit you now?
I am uncertain. All I know is that the life that I have now, what remains of it, I need to find purpose in it. This concept of repupating and coming back for another round, it almost seems like cheating to me.
Well, maybe this is exactly what we're meant to do, is seek purpose. So I think you're going to be okay.
You know, for the first time in my 19 long years, Since you came aboard and he looks back at his other friends behind, since I met our little group, I have hope for that. I have hope. And that is why I am drawn so strongly to what others might consider certain death. That rose vortex, something to be avoided, something that is dangerous, something deadly. I'm drawn to it much as I am drawn to this flame before us. I have to see what's on the other side.
I do too. I think there's more that we're going to uncover that I don't know if we're ready for just yet. But, and I turn around and I look at everybody as well. I think we can do it.
I think so too. But that young scamp has to stay out of our hair.
Yes.
We need to come up
Hopefully,
with a plan. A diversion, I think.
hopefully Wenny puts her foot down in the right time, in the right place, and scares him a little bit, you know. That's going to be a struggle in itself, but well, I think we're ready for it.
Yes, I think we are. And just reach out and give your hand a squeeze.
And I put my other hand on top of him and I just nod my head. Are you ready for sleep?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
No worries. No worries.
I'm just glad to have you here.
As am I.
Let's go.
Becque the Swift is waiting for you. I'm not crying. Are you ready? The tango waits.
Yes, Becque, let's go.
But you probably don't need me to hold your hand this time.
Oh, no,
Oh,
please do. And I snap his hand.
He's like chattering away with you down the tunnel. You know, Flot-Sam light is getting down the tunnel. And Wenny is probably on guard, like looking around at the shadows because she already heard scraping. And she sees Flot-Sam's light hit a couple side tunnels. And as Flot-Sam's light hit these side tunnels, she sees a shadow flash of a figure on this tunnel and a shadow flash of a figure on this tunnel further down. Now, you're near the end, like you're almost near the end to the couloir. You know, it's sloping down, but you got these side tunnels that, Wenny, you see these kind of flashes of shadows in there. What do you do?
Are we approaching these side tunnels, or how, are they truly on the side of us right now?
And now you're walking towards them. The success of your prior roll feeds into being not caught unaware. And you see these shadows well before, like, because I think you're looking out, like, I know I heard something. No one else is, but you're looking out and you see these shadows in these side tunnels with Flot-Sam's light.
Yeah, knowing they sort of slunk behind us, and then now we've turned around, so they should be in front of us, ahead of us somewhere. If I see these shadows, I think I'll immediately tell the group. Actually, maybe just go to Flot-Sam, especially. I'll put my hand on his shoulder. Everyone, stop, please, stop. Flot-Sam, could you please shine your light quickly? Like I'm trying to be quiet and discreet about this. Flot-Sam, shine your light down that tunnel, please, quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, as you're quietly telling Flot-Sam to quietly, like Becque's just jabbering around about fishing with Zavara. Yeah, and I was out having this tangle once. I had this really long line. I had a clock.
I'm going to get down to his level and make that face again and say, shh, no more games. This is serious.
What's happening?
Shh, I need you to be quiet.
Flot-Sam turns his beam down the tunnel as directed.
Yeah, you guys stop walking. You shine your beam down there, and it catches this edge of person, and you stop there. Now, the light is shining there for a while, and so all bets are off, and you hear a whistle, and out steps this Etzriko female. Etzenkos are like this mantis-type being with thin wings and elongated limbs, like, you know, a mantis was our size, walking on feet. And then 5 other figures kind of pile out, 2 behind her and 3 from the others. And there's a gal and 2 Ardents and what you think is a Zealocray, but you're not like quite sure because it's just like a bundle of stuff. But you're almost positive it's Zealocray because it's not walking quite like normal. And they're all brandishing weapons, swords, short arms, a pistol. The gal has a sawed-off double-barrel gun of some nature, and the Etzriko puts up her hand a little bit, and they all kind of just stop there. They're about 20, 30 feet, 10 meters away from you. And you hear her say, wait here, anyone who speaks Tapric, really. And does anyone know Old Hand?
Oh, I think I might. Hold on.
I do. I do.
But
Wait. So can I ask if did we meet the crew prior, like, or like at all, or we didn't know of the crew? I mean, I know. I'm scared.
These do not look like crew. They got bandanas. All you can see are their eyes.
Oh no!
And weapons are out. And the Etzriko is definitely not crew. They look
Okay.
weathered, but not necessarily destitute. They just look rough. Like
Okay.
they look like ruffians. They got rough clothes on, ruffians. But they almost have a local feel. They're not like mercenaries or something. Like, you know, they're not kitted out like that. They definitely look like locals. And their weapons are there, but they're not necessarily wearing them in a comfortable fashion, per se. So, Zavara, you know Old Hand?
I do. Who else knows?
Okay.
Knowledge?
I have Old Hand too.
I have
Same.
one.
Okay.
one in Old Hand and one in Hyven.
No one speaks Gaudian or the language of Gao.
No.
I don't know. I didn't think so.
Shoot.
And I'm almost positive no one can speak Zelicray, the buzz and click of that place. Okay. So only those who know Old Hand see, you know, language between the two Ardents, really, that Zavara and Flot-Sam. You just get a sense that, well, what I would have you do is roll each of you. I'm going to see what happens. Make a roll using the language. So Old Hand. So take an edge in the language and make a roll. So sharps, instinct, tides, iron, and then use language like Old Hand, however many dice you have, and make a roll, Zavara and Flot-Sam. See if you catch it, see what you say. Both of you are probably rolling 3 dice because Zavara and Flot-Sam have 2 picks in Old Hand. So roll 3 dice and see, or pick an edge and Old Hand and tell me what you get.
Okay, I'll roll physical dice.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
You said we get an advantage, or
no? You just get an edge and Old Hand.
And the
So
language,
it's really just So it's really 3 dice to see.
all right. So I'm gonna use teeth.
Okay.
It's an edgy for like passion and destruction. I want to see if they're trying to be combative with us because they are looking like bandits. So, all right, I'm gonna roll. Shoot.
Okay. What do you get, Flot-Sam?
I'm going to roll with sharps and my 2. So
Okay.
4, 4, and 4.
Whoa! What is that? That's not a twist. That's more than a twist. What do we call that? What do we call
So you
He's got a vortex. It's a vortex.
you get a conflict
Take a
with a
picture
twist.
of that. Take a picture of that. Put it in the Discord. That's
We'll
crazy.
get to the twist. We'll get to the twist. We'll get to the twist after this. So the conflict is Zavara and Flot-Sam see Old Hand between these two Ardents, but their interpretation isn't the same. One of them, Zavara, you think that the Old Hand are saying this is wrong, and Flot-Sam thinks that they say aim for the big guy.
Oh shoot!
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That's a bad
So-
conflict.
Yeah.
Me, right?
Right.
Yeah,
You just say aim for. They say aim for the big guy.
Aim for the
and
tanks, the one with the metal.
Aim for the barrel.
Zavara thinks that they say this is wrong. That's what the conflict is. You get alternate ideas of what's being said in Old Hand because there is a conflict. What does the group think the twist is? You're in this dark corridor with Flot-Sam's lights. You have these 6 individuals arrayed before you. The Zelicray holds them back for a minute and starts moving towards you. She's got a kind of rapier sword and her head nearly comes up to the top, but she steps forward of them a little bit and she's gonna talk. But what do you, as she's approaching you, what do you think the twist is in this moment? Or what's an idea for a twist? What do you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do we have any idea of what was the ship called? The Flying
Cloud.
Cloud. The Flying Cloud. Do we have any idea of like what the logo on this Flying Cloud would have been, or sort of their flag, or sort of some sort of crest, something?
The figurehead at the prow of the ship. Yeah.
Oh, right. I think there would be a figurehead at the power ship. What would you think it is?
I wonder. Well, maybe some sort of this Leviathan, like a
Ooh.
sort of mini
Sure.
Leviathan. Go with the theme. I was thinking maybe Flot-Sam sees this sort of crest on one of these members, like a patch they have on their jacket,
Ooh,
Uh-huh.
a tattoo.
Okay.
or a
Big.
tattoo,
Yeah.
or something.
If you want it to be some sort of colors, like the colors of the flying cloud, it would have to be something you're wearing, not
okay.
something that adorns your skin.
Would it be the
So,
bandanas that they have?
yeah, maybe something
Maybe.
like that. Yeah, a scarf, a bandana, a patch
Mhm.
on a piece of clothing, something that is like.
So, what do you all think about that twist that the Etzriko
That's
leader?
just an idea. Don't have to stick with it.
Yeah. Do you
Just-
have any other twist that you any? It could be good or bad, related to the moment, either yourself or them or the tangle, where you are in the Sentinel. It could be anything, good or bad. Doesn't it? The twist could be good for you. It could be bad for you. It just depends on what you'd like to do.
Well,
Does-
twist. So we do. I'm sorry. We do
Okay.
recognize them as coming from the flying cloud, which means they're outcasts or survivors in some way of a wrecked ship.
Or they could have had a hand in maybe pirating against that ship too. We have no idea if that's the twist we go with, because we could have like another random twist, which is like the boy recognizes somebody.
Yeah,
like they're
that's
locals, so
exactly
he sees
what I was
somebody
gonna
in that
say,
group,
yeah.
and he's like,
That
I know
Becque,
you.
does Becque know them? Yeah.
whatever twist. And I don't mean to stick to whatever.
Or maybe Becque questions like how they got on the ship, or because how did they get on the ship without any of us noticing that? And
Okay.
the captain too,
We're still in the
so you have
tunnels though, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Over in the tunnel.
So you have anything to add?
I'm sorry. Question was.
So you have anything to add? No, I'll run with it. Okay. So here's
No,
what
Otz-Za is totally clueless in this moment. He probably doesn't even know what's happening.
what's going on. So we have Zavara and Flot-Sam getting miscues. Really seem to say that strike at the big guy, and the other one, Zavara, thinks it says this is wrong from the five in the back, or two of the ones in the back. The Etzriko begins to walk up towards you, and she's wearing this like cut down coat, with a couple buttons and an obvious patch of some nature that delineate the flying cloud. And as she stepped up towards you, she gets about 10 feet, 3 meters away, and she says, "You were seen with the old Etzriko. What has your captain agreed to do for her? We know you're against the Jays. Tell us what we need to know, and there will be no trouble." And the problem is that Zavara is holding Becque's hand.
Yep.
And he's up front with her. And as this Etzriko, who is, twice as tall as Becque the Swift, Zavara hears his breath catch. And then he yanks his hand away. He pulls out his pistol, takes 2 steps forward,
No.
points it right at her,
Oh,
and he
my.
says, "Where did you get that coat, you scurvy vermin? That is of the flying cloud." What do you all do?
Oh my God.
Everybody's in shock.
I'm
Clearly.
in shock.
The big guy steps up and says, hold. Somebody has just died and has been honored here. Is this how you choose to honor the dead? With these horrible acts?
So you trying to convince them to back off, like they're
Trying to deflate the situation. Yes.
okay. Make a roll.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Woo.
Let's get 4s again.
There's no cut here. There would be a cut, but Becque, this tiny, well, he's not tiny, but he's just not full grown with. He is 1 or 2 steps out in front of Zavara, and he's literally standing there with the pistol up like this. And his voice is not like the Becque it's harsh, it's full of pain as he says the flying cloud and recognizes the jacket that the Etzriko is wearing. So there's be no cut, Flot-Sam, otherwise there would be. So make a roll to influence. See what happens.
yes. I believe somebody wants to say something.
I was just gonna say, can we aid him in some way? Let's see. You are trying to sort of diffuse the tension here, or
Yes.
bring it to a simmer. Let's see here. I think I just step forward and I say, I think there's room for a quiet discussion first. Everybody calm down. So I'm kind of stepping behind him and, between and just trying to have another added layer of like, let's all take a moment here. And I will sort of, let's see, so what should I roll an edge and then see if that
You
will
just
aid him?
roll. Actually, you're aiding, so you just roll an edge. I'd have you roll, and you add your dice to them. Otz-Za, you suddenly hear Becque's voice ring out. He pulls the pistol that his dad gave him, and he's leaning out up with his pistol, and his other hand is still holding Zavara's hand. He's like ahead of her, holding his hand, but leaning out like 2 steps away. But he still has Zavara's hand in his other, but he's standing right in front of her with his pistol up when he shouts this out. And Flot-Sam and Wenny are going to make this roll to try to cool things down. What does Otz-Za do?
Otz-Za has something in reserve if things escalate.
Okay.
He wants to see how this plays out before he decides on what to do.
So Flot-Sam and Wenny make a roll, pick an edge, just one roll, one dice. You're going to add to Flot-Sam's dice. Flot-Sam, what are you using in this moment to decompress the system, or decompress this moment? Really?
So do I choose an edge and a skill?
You can choose an edge and a skill, and you can use any aspect or resource or.
Roll the 1. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My instincts are so bad. Why did I choose instinct?
Okay, I'm going to choose a tide. Tide seems to be appropriate.
Okay, tide. Yeah.
I have Flourish 2, and so what he does is he's got an aspect called Vocal Recovery. I can dredge up the voices of sailors long lost, changing my voice. Well, I'm not necessarily changing my voice. I'm actually speaking. That
voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm now. Do I need to burn to speak the truth of a lost sailor? I guess I'll burn that then.
Yep.
And recover some of the truth of this of this conflict that's going on here.
Okay. So you would roll 4 dice. You have 1 advantage. I'll tell you what that truth is in a moment. So you pick an edge, a skill, and 1 advantage. You got no help from Wenny. You roll the 1. You roll 4 dice. What edge and skill would you use in addition to your burning vocal recovery?
No! I already said tide and flourish. Flourish being the voice coming through me is much more word I'm looking for persuasive.
Okay, so roll 4 dice.
6, 5, 6, 6, and 6. What?
Wow!
No way.
Okay, so you got it.
I never rolled a character that good in D&D.
Right.
He pushes Wenny out of the way. You don't know what you're talking about. He takes control.
You're using dice from now on.
With a twist, a crazy success. So let's do the crazy success first.
Wow.
And then we'll decide what the twist is, really. What do you say? What happens in that moment? How does it?
I'm trying to understand the context. So these former crew of the Flying Cloud have stepped forward, confronting us because of our alignment with the former owner.
Well, a couple things. Number one, the person in front of you, the Itzriko, is simply wearing a jacket from the Flying Cloud. Number one, and has the emblem of that ship on the coat she's wearing. And so I think since you got 3 6s, I will tell you that none of them are from the Flying Cloud. She's just wearing a jacket from the Flying Cloud. I think you recognize that given who you are. Maybe a voice bubbles up inside you, but this tall Itzriko is wearing the jacket, but she's not crew of the Flying Cloud and probably never was. You don't think any of them were crew of the Flying Cloud. Aside from the one standing in front of you, they look local. So I will tell you that.
Honor the memory and the soul of this lost sailor. Step back from your unrighteous fury. None of you are from the Flying Cloud. You wear something that you should not be wearing. You have dishonored yourself and the memory of that ship's crew.
What happens is the 5 behind the two Ardents, and there's a gal and one Zealocray, really. You see them look at each other. And then they look to this Itzriko who's up front wearing a jacket from, cover of the ship. And they start looking. And what happens with that success is that they start to step back, those five. The leader, the Itzriko, looks back at them and she yells back at them, "You won't make any money if you leave now." And you see them shake their heads at each other, and you get a sense, everyone gets a sense when they look at them, that they're locals. And yeah, they're here, they're sailors, but they no longer sail. And you feel, and their eyes flick to you. And what your successes do rolling 3/6s is you see it in their eyes that whatever this was and however much they're being paid, it's not worth it. It's not worth it in this moment. It's not worth it to stand behind this Itzriko who's wearing the colors or the jacket of the flying cloud. And once you say that she's wearing a jacket of the flying cloud, they all look at each other like they didn't recognize it. And once they do, once it dawns on them, they don't want to be paid for this job anymore. And you see them fade back into the tunnel, leaving the Itzriko there with you. And
Otz-Za.
he's still holding his gun, really, as they fade into the darkness of the tunnel and essentially abandon this Itzriko female who's standing 3, 4, 5 in front of.
Otz-Za would like to step forward at this point. After he hears what Flot-Sam says, he will step next to Flot-Sam and say, "You're certain that this individual is not a member of the Flying Cloud?"
A voice has, the soul of the Flying Cloud sailor has come through and pointed me to the distruth of this person.
And she dishonors the sailor who wore this before her. And I'll turn my attention to that sailor and take a step forward. I'll step between, I'll try to anyway, Becque and his pointed gun and the sailor. And I'll stare straight into the sailor's eyes and say, "That jacket does not belong to you." And I would like to use my stare down ability or my aspect.
Sure.
All right. Let's see.
Locking eyes with an opponent allows you to assail their mind with unwanted sensation,
Ooh.
manifesting
Cool.
as LR salt damage. Only works on versions with creatures with sight. So what I would like to do are project thoughts into her mind of the dying sailor, who wore this jacket before her.
Oh.
Sure. There's no roll for that. You just do it, right?
I don't know. It's an aspect.
Oh, it's an aspect. So you would make a edge skill and an aspect.
Okay.
It's which one is it? Stare down. Okay. Yeah. So you use it to actually damage her.
I'll mark it.
And so, so you would actually roll an edge skill plus 1 die for stare down, really.
Ooh.
Okay. So that's it. Just 2 dice then.
No. You roll an edge skill plus the stare down. So,
And if your skill has 2 dice,
right.
whatever it would, depending on which skill you use.
It could be anything, And
Okay.
Can I assist him on that?
yeah, you can. What would you do as you're holding Becque the Swift hand?
I think at this point, I've let him go too far for so long, and I'm going to. Okay, I kind of want to spark my fingers, rub them together, and cause electricity to spark in my fingers. And when you rub your socks on carpet and you get that static shock.
Sure.
I'm gonna shock him, and to have him drop the gun on the floor and see
Becque
if
the Swift.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you 2 choices.
Okay.
You can roll for it,
Okay.
or you can just let it.
Oh. That
Or
sounds
what was the second option?
You could just let it happen.
What do you guys think? If I roll and I
Goodness
get a
gracious.
conflict, I don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
A disaster.
know.
The gun goes off.
What is the result of letting it
And
just
shoot me in the
happen?
back? That'd be
Just
awesome.
an automatic
God.
disaster? I don't know.
So we want to try that?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah, I'll
Go
roll
it.
for it. Let's make
All right,
things
so-
Go,
spicy.
baby. Go, baby.
So, Otz-Za, you're going to have a separate roll. It's going to be however many dice, the edge skill, and 1 dice for stare down. And Zavara, you're going to roll to reel in or have Becque the Swift drop his pistol.
So I think it's my aspect. It's called Lightning Claw. It says you can direct
okay.
bursts of voltaic energy through your palms or fingers, dealing LR volt damage.
Okay.
Okay.
So
want to
you would
damage Becque,
roll.
though.
You would roll an edge of skill and an extra dice for a lightning call.
And I mark that on the.
Yeah, you can mark it,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
you would choose an edge of skill, and then you add 1 dice for advantage for lightning.
Oh my god. Okay.
And so Zavara make that roll, and Otz-Za, you make your roll for your action.
All right, I'm using veils and sense because I'm trying to dredge up an aspect of the past to haunt this person.
Okay.
So I'll be rolling 4 dice.
Yep, you roll veils and
Okay.
okay.
Conflict.
All right, a success with conflict. Okay, and Zavara, make your roll.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out a skill. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna do grace with sense, and then I'll add 1 advantage roll.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
All right. So this is what Flot-Sam and Wenny see. Otz-Za flips his way in front of Becque, who is holding tightly to Zavara's hand. And then there's this static electrical kind of discharge that circulates, snaps, cracks, pops around Zavara and feeds down her arm into Becque. And as Otz-Za steps in front of him, Becque's arm spasms.
No.
And the finger on the gun pulls the trigger just as Otz-Za goes. And Zavara here it goes click,
Oh my god.
click, 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 click,
Oh, there's no
click,
bullets.
click. And
Loaded.
you
wasn't loaded.
hear this low moan out of Becque. This just terrible, painful, soul-wrenching moan from Becque the Swift. And
Oh,
he
no.
turns to Zavara and just throws his arms around her and buries his head in her. He's got the gun in there and he's almost sobbing, as he tried to pull this trigger on the pistol, something he's never done before. And he's just holding on to Zavara for like she's an anchor and just, buries his head into her. You can feel he's kind of shuddering because not only is the electricity of Zavara going through his body still, but
That's a bit of a taser effect. Yeah.
Oh my god.
he's like
Oh, no.
sobbing a little bit, but he's buried his face into you. He's almost as tall as you, but his nose and his face is like in the crook of your neck, Zavara, as Otz-Za steps in front of him. What happens, Otz-Za, is as you confront this Etzriko and you lock eyes with her and you send this kind of psychic damage, you're going to see her flinch away with her rapier. And the conflict is that in that jolt, as she's trying to back away from you, as she's trying to move at this sudden sensation of terribleness that you feed her with, that rapier comes out towards you, and you need to make a reaction roll at
Come on.
1 cut, not to have it slice through you as she as she jerks back as you hit her with this kind of mental, psychic, unwanted sensation that manages as fault damage in her sight.
So is that just an edge roll then?
No, it's a reaction roll. You can use an edge of skill aspect. Like whenever you make a roll, you can use anything you think would work.
So I will
Obviously,
also
you can't
use. Oh no, she's not doing this intentionally. So I will use instinct just to try and get out of the way, and flourish just to make it look good as I try to get out of
To
the way.
the Swift.
Anything
And
else?
I'm not going to use any of my aspects or resources.
All right, so you're both 2 guys with a cut.
Yep, this is gonna be good, guys.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god!
Nice. So good.
Yes. All right. Woo.
He is out for the Swift. We're gonna the Swift.
Yeah.
What
So
does it look
as-
like as she jerks that rapier towards you and you hit her with this psychic energy that you almost hear this high-pitched moan or squeal out of her mandibles?
I would say that the psychic visions that Otsu is feeding into his eyes, just kind of like swirling patterns in her mind as she relives the final moments of the sailor, would mimic her motions as he follows him. Perhaps he was in a fight, and she'd be lashing out. The original sailor would be lashing out with a rapier at their target before falling overboard into the wild sea. And so he would kind of anticipate this movement as if he's feeding her this image. He's expecting her to react that way. So he just deftly just sidesteps. This rapier goes kind of flies past him. I meant to do that. You'll give me that coat now.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that would happen. I think that he cringes away from her. Her wings, she has these 4 wings that flick out, and she literally pulls the coat off as she's got her eyes covered, blinded by this terrible sight, because her mandibles are clacking, and it's really a whimper of an Isenko, like it's this terrible feeling that you settled into her. And she throws that coat on the ground, and her wings flick out, and you just see her like vault into the side tunnel to escape you, Otz-Za. Now you have wings. Do you give chase, or you just let her go?
I just let her go. I'll bend down, pick up the coat, I'll turn around, and I'll just drape it over Becque's shoulders.
You get a little static shock. You know, like,
You tase an 8-year-old.
And Zavara, like, Becque has his arms around you. He's still got the gun in his hand. Like, Flot-Sam and Wenny are behind you. So, like, he's got his arms around you, and he's got the pistol in one hand that's at your back, but you're, not face to face because he's a little bit shorter than you. He's just kind of shuddering in your arm. And it's only partly related to the electric shock you gave him, and some of it's something else. What does Zavara do?
I'm assuming I'm kind of like crouched at his level now that he's like in my neck. So
Just hold you tightly. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna. I guess
some of that is tetany.
Can I stop the electrical shock by this point?
Sure, it'll die off here in a moment.
Yeah, so I'll let it die off.
Stopped it at any point. She
I know.
Just waited a little longer.
Sorry, I have like tentacles in the back of kind of like my hair kind of thing, but I can control it. So I'm gonna use that and reach down and grab the pistol and weirdly hand it over to Wenny or Flot-Sam.
I can put it in my barrel.
I whisper, or like I guess because he's in shock. So I'm gonna say to Becque, "You did
Quite
great."
literally in shock.
In shock. I said, "You did great. It's okay. It'll all pass soon. You are Becque the Swift. That was very courageous of you, boy." And
You hear? Go ahead.
no, and I just say, "I'm sorry it had to come to that, but you just did not listen."
You see him sniffle. You're right, Zavara. But damn it, he had Mama's coat on. And
It's
he
your
looks over
mom's
his shoulder. He realizes he's wearing it. He's like, "Well, you got me her coat."
You see why I said trust us and be quiet.
Hey, I'm sorry. I saw the coat and I just thought of Mom's.
I understand.
Where's my pistol?
You will earn that when the time is right. For now, we will hold on to it until we know your
Alright.
swiftness is ready to be used in the right way.
You realize that perhaps Becque the Swift isn't a moniker because he's really fast, but he bounces back and just in lightning speed, like he just had this moment was terrible.
No
Maybe
pun intended. Lightning
Yeah.
speed.
It's Rico's pattern, and you just shock the heck out of him, but
Yeah.
then he's, looking for his gun, but I think you, Zavara, see it in his eyes, this uncertainty that not many people get to see in Becque the Swift. He's almost the age of majority, which isn't only a couple months away. Damn, he's trying to find his mama. And you probably have kindred emotions about being out there on your own. And this little Ardent, now a pirate, cabin boy of TangleFang, is out there for a different purpose. He doesn't show it very often, but you see it there in that moment that it's more than him going out to sea. He knows what you guys are going to do, and he's sharp. He's planned this whole way. He knew what you were going to be asked to do, and he wiggled his way into this cabin boy job. And you realize there's more to Becque the Swift in that moment. A little bit more intelligence, a little bit more smart than you might have thought originally. And it's just there for a flash, that little boy in him searching for his mama. And he sucks it up and says, okay. Well, you let me know when I can have my pistol back, but I'm keeping the belt.
You've earned
even
it.
if it's empty.
You've earned it.
Okay, so what we're doing is end there. I'll tell you what happened, really. First light, the ship is ready, and everyone's on board early before the sun rises, before it's full light. They're just a blush in the horizon of the sun rising over WildSea. And the captain is standing on the poop deck. Flot-Sam has the wheel. Becque the Swift is high in the rigging with Ronald, who's now attached to him, like, the hip. And we're way up tall in the rigging. And he's yelling down at you, hey, you should come up here. It's great. And you can see TangleFang going, this was supposed to be a quiet endeavor. And the compass pushes away from the pier. Now, as you're pulling away from the Sentinel, the Port Authority is running down the pier yelling at you about taxes or something.
Uh-oh.
Beanox is standing there, and you're all in the poop deck with the captain, and Flot-Sam has the wheel, and Zavara and Wenny, the officers now on this voyage, this hunt, this search for Teche Etzriko. And Beanox is looking at him, and he waves and he shrugs, and then he points at Otz-Za.
Otz-Za's at least to blame.
I know. I'm there just a step back.
Like it's his fault.
Yeah.
And you see the port authority, this, tall Ardent, just throw down the books, and he's yelling at you about taxes the next time you come in. And Beanox is, laughing, looking at Otz-Za, and like he had to blame someone, not him. And the compass pushes away with Flot-Sam at the wheel. And last you see is the compass headed out into the tangle. And the last thing you hear really is Becque the Quick's whooping in the riggings with Ronald and the other monkeys of the line, really. And we're ended there for today.
Yay. Good to be back, guys.
I know.
Hopefully all right, but I had a great time.